Where are you going?
I gotta go do work. Some of us have to work this morning.
You have to participate in this.
Why?
Because
Are you talking about something interesting?
I hope so.
You didn't have anything to talk about.
I do have something to talk about.
What?
Managing conflict.
Oh, okay.
And I want your thoughts on something before. I didn't want to tell you about it. I want to blindside you with something
Oh, boy.
and see how you answer.
Oh. That's how I feel about this.
You better run. Get my damn spot set
I
up.
still have time to get my coffee.
Sorry, I'll give you a moment, and we'll see if there's anything new or different on the wall while you're doing that. All right, good morning, good morning. So while late Liz gets her coffee going this morning, I haven't done inventory in a while. I'm not going to do inventory so much really today either, but I'm going to walk around just super fast and see if we've got anything new and different on the wall. So our shotgun wall, Andy, good morning, sir, is definitely full. Gordon, good morning. I do have a couple of Tavor TS12s up here, some Kel-Tec. So if you're into the bullpup shotguns, definitely got some of those. Standard DP12s, Mossberg 500s, 590s, 940s, 930s, Beretta 1301s, and some Benelli goodness. I apologize for my voice. I've got a cold kick in my butt. We got another Q Sugar Weasel up here. The last one we had lasted about 4 minutes. I do still have Q the Fix in H6 Blackout up here. Some other basic standard ARs, Ruger, Daniel, Smith, so on, SIG, MCXs, MPXs, Crosses, Spears, back to bullpups, Desert Tech, Kel-Tec, and FN. Nick, good morning. I've got this Henry Axe in 410. P3. What?
I'm looking at this Henry thing. It's very confusing.
I know. I think you need that in your life. Is that an M1A? I think we do have an M1A. Yeah, we do have an M1A. Terminator 2 gun. Huh. Is that what he used in Terminator 2? When he was on the Fat Boy?
I have. Oh, that's funny. I don't know. I have to watch it.
He was using a 410? I can't imagine. Terminator using a 410? Come on. You're using like an 8 gauge or something. You know that? So a little bit of movie trivia, Nick, since you brought it up. That was the introduction of the Harley-Davidson Fat Boy in that movie. Andy, what shotgun gauges have I shot? Have I shot? 410, 12, 16, 20. That's it. I've not shot in any like 8 gauge or.
Definitely shot an 8 gauge.
I don't know if I've shot a 10 gauge.
No.
I don't think I've shot a 10 gauge.
No, it was Plaid Daddy that did a 4 gauge video.
I bet Dan was running away. I bet Dan's probably got a 4 gauge shotgun in his car.
His car.
Come on, Dan. You're disappointing me. All right. For handguns, we have lots of them. So we have stuff. If you want stuff, come see stuff. Anything new and exciting in here, Liz, that I shouldn't just fly right by? Or Dan, do you know of anything new and exciting? You got this M&P 2.0 comp thing in there?
Nikes.
Look
at that 226. That thing's massive.
It is massive, but it's freaking gorgeous, though. I like that.
Does it come with a gas pedal? That's kind of silly.
Gas pedals are silly. But, yeah, X5 226. Still got that mailbox Beretta up there. And we have Glocks, and we have FN, and we have Canic, and we have Walther, and we have, what the hell is that? Oh, that Ross Martin. I need to shoot one of these.
We've got one on the range.
We do have one on the range now? Okay, well, I need to go downstairs and shoot it. We have Dan's EDC here, the High Point C9, and then some Airx and Ruger and so on. Let's go hit the used case real quick, just because this changes our used case. Dan, you need to buy some guns. We are.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Remington R51. That's Dan's backup gun. Glock 17, 365, MR920L. Dang.
What wheel gun are you going to carry, though, Dan?
The Smith & Wesson Governor. The Governor. So, anyway, that's what we got.
That's pretty cool. Look what they can get with their waffle purchase.
What is this? Free gun safe.
Already truck light. That's kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. How do you do that, Charles? How do you get that?
Actually, you
Redeem
buy a
at-
PDT, and then you scan the code, or you go to the website, and then you can just contact Walter and say, "Hey, I bought this, and here's my serial number.
Send me my stuff.
Yeah,
That's kind of cool. That's a good gun.
and that's good until mid-April, April 14th.
All right, awesome. All right, so let's go to our perch, Miss Liz.
Okay. I was told that we need to have a podcast room
A podcast room?
and like us actually have like podcasts. And I was
Okay.
My first response was time.
Yeah, I know. Time for anything. Truthfully, Liz probably should not be out here right now. She's got a lot of stuff going on today, and
Kansas City Chiefs. Oh my gosh.
where
The Swifties won.
Swifties did win. So, Mr. Robert William, I want to talk about. Good morning, everybody. By the way, I titled this "Conflict Avoidance." Sorry, I got to get a cup of coffee. Drink coffee. Hold on. So, don't say nothing. I mean, you can say whatever you want. I don't care. So,
Oh, Jesus.
you're. I'm putting you on the spot here.
Okay.
You're walking into Deerbergs, and some random person starts hollering obscenities, like in your general direction. You don't even realize that they're talking to you.
But I can hear someone
You
yelling.
can hear somebody saying, "Hey, meanie head." Sorry, I gotta keep it PG for.
But not actually that.
I
Okay.
mean, that would be kind of funny. And what do? You're walking in Deerbergs. You didn't just cut somebody off in traffic. You didn't just
random.
flip somebody. It's just random.
I
Do
mean,
you just keep moving, or do you turn and try to see what's going on? Do you run over and kick them in the big toe? What do you do?
well, since you gave me that option, first off is figuring out where it's coming from, because my response could be different. I'm definitely going to orient myself towards the situation and figure out what it is. Because if it's a mom yelling at her teenage kid to get in the car or something, then that's one thing. But if it's people getting into a conflict near me, near the door, are my kids with me? Like, there's all kinds of questions that come
Sure.
up, as a matter of
You're by
at
yourself.
what level I would stay safe. If I'm by myself and it's out in the parking lot somewhere and I'm walking inside and it's not on my way, I'd probably just keep going, and I would listen and kind of pay attention as I'm walking in to see if it escalated or it was de-escalating, and just mostly to be a good citizen if I need to call the cops for them or let somebody know inside or something like that. But I definitely wouldn't involve myself, and I would stay
Okay,
away
so
from it.
let me ask you this: you're going in your work uniform, and somebody yells, "Range employee." I know you hear me. You're ignoring me. Turn around, You big meanie head.
Oof.
What do you do?
I'd get my pepper spray in my hand. I would definitely end up, it depends. You figure out where it's coming from. If it's from behind me, and if I'm by myself and I don't have my kids or anything, am I walking inside or am I walking to my car? If I'm walking to my car, I'm probably going to turn around and walk back inside because I don't want to take the time to get into my car and worry about them coming up to my car or something to that effect when I can, if I can, turn around and start walking back towards general public. Obviously someone is talking to me in potentially an aggressive manner. I'm not going to turn around and address them with aggression because it could be someone messing with me. It could be someone playing a game on me, a prank or something to that effect. And I don't want to use inappropriate force against someone because they're trying to be silly. I've known lots of people who want to be silly that they don't quite understand the big picture of it. So definitely pay attention. I might try to look behind me quickly as I'm walking away, but definitely trying to move towards public.
So this happened to Cindy Saturday.
No.
Somebody who shall remain nameless but is in the chat right now started yelling at her because we know him.
Sure.
Right? She
I can only imagine.
She said at first, she said, I heard somebody yelling, "Hey, you," and
what a jerk.
I know it was you. I know it was you. I wasn't going to call you out, but she said, I just kept walking. I kept walking. Then she said, I know you hear me, wrestling mom. And she had a wrestling mom shirt on.
Oh.
And she said, even then, though, it didn't really, jump out at me. She goes, but I just thought, I'm going to ignore him and walk inside the store. And she goes, it just kept getting louder and bigger and louder and bigger. And then she realized that
who it was.
Rob. And he was like, I can't believe you didn't turn around and say something or look at me. So she asked me about it later. She said, what should I have done? And I said, I don't know. I think you did great. You just keep moving. Now, if somebody's behind me and I hear that yelling, I think I'd want to look over my shoulder and just see if they're pursuing me. Like, do I need to go inside and be more cautious? Do I need to go inside and talk to, somebody in the store? Like, hey, somebody's yelling at me in a parking lot. I'm going to come in here, be ready to call the cops, whatever. If there's something else you need to do. If they're just sitting in their car and they're yelling at me, then I'm going to go inside and just do my thing. But if they're getting out of their car and following me into a store, then I probably would want to know that. I wouldn't just spin around and be like, what the big meanie head is your problem?
I think I encounter this a lot with my women's awareness class and just talking about making eye contact with people or engaging with someone who has their attention on you. A big reason why women, I think in general, won't make eye contact is because it could imply that we want further conversation, and usually we don't. Usually we don't, guys. Just listen. But so we think that, okay, if we don't look at them, then we can play ignorance is bliss, and we're not interested. It's just an easy, ignorance is bliss thing. But if you make eye contact with this person that is calling after you, then now you have to set a boundary. Now you have to be like, all right, I'm going to ignore it. Now I have a potential to be rude or whatever. I'm not saying that I don't want you to have that assertiveness to be able to be rude if you need to. But I think that's the initial, I'm going to ignore it because ignorance is bliss. And hopefully if I don't acknowledge them, they'll leave me alone and not acknowledge me. So I think that's where that comes from. But especially if she was walking inside, that would have been my choice too, for sure.
Meanie head and all your classes. You're a big meanie head.
I bet he was saying meanie head too.
I can only imagine.
I would definitely be getting my pepper spray in my hand though, without fail. If I knew someone was calling for me, because I keep my pepper spray right in my pocket, and if I could just have this in my hand, it's pretty it's not really very easy to tell what it is, and I could just carry this in my hand. This is something you want to use before they get close to you. So this is what I would be after.
So I just thought it was interesting, and that it went the way that it went, and I agree. I think that for the most part, she should have just walked right in like she did. But I do think that you should also look to see if they are trying to continue the pursuit of you for whatever their reasons are, and then you need to make a decision of how you handle that. Like, hey, is this something? Is he being aggressive, or is he just pursuing me for a conversation, or because I just ran over some kid's bicycle and I didn't realize it and I'm dragging it down the road? Whatever.
So,
Rich, good morning.
So Rob, were you actually saying things that were things that she could have identified you by, or at least like, hey, range employee, like something that would insinuate that he knew her?
I don't know that he knew her necessarily.
That
but
could
he
change
did say,
things a little bit.
He did say wrestling mom. Like I said, she was wearing a shirt that said wrestling mom. That's why I use range employee, because you're wearing your shirt that says you work at the range. And so you, at that point, you know that it's not a husband and wife yelling at each other in a parking lot. You know that somebody's directing a comment towards you.
Right.
I don't think he wasn't calling her. No, I think she was asking, like, did you say something that made her think you know her?
Yeah. If you said something, like if someone was following me and said, hey, I know you work at the range, that's what I initially thought. Like someone was, quote unquote, targeting me because I work at the range for whatever reason. They want to talk to me and talk about guns, or they want to talk to me because I don't, you know.
He was just saying in general stuff like, hey, you, I know you hear me, turn around.
That would 100% change. Like, that changes things for me. Because if, it is hot in here. If you talk to me like you know me, like outside of that specific encounter, then that if there's like an initial connection there. There's ways that people use that to manipulate you into thinking that they're okay to talk to you by like building these false connections. But if someone was saying something like, "Hey, I know you work at the range," and that would trigger me to want to turn around and look at them more, versus someone that's just giving very big picture things like, "Hey, you in the wrestling mom shirt," like that's. Anybody could see that, so that's not necessarily implying that there was a previous connection there. So that's why I was asking. Paul, I go back and forth between Saber and Palm, P-O-M. So this is Palm right now.
Good stuff.
It's a good question.
So that's really all I have for this morning. Truthfully, I didn't even want to do it because I feel like crap, but I wanted to talk about it because it just happened, and you were here and I was here and we had a moment. So
yeah, for sure.
Anyway, if you guys need something, come see us, 1403 Manchester Road, beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. We have all sorts of cool stuff on the wall and in the cases. Come hang out with us. There you go.
Get her one.
Get it.
Get her a couple.
Let's get these kids today. Love you more. So anyway, we're going away. You guys stay safe, be nice to one another, and we will catch you soon. Bye, Paw.
Bye, Papa.
Later.